Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Big Rob from Big Rob and the Goose Sports Cards. Yesterday was our inventory draft. As Goose and I are basically going to stop selling sports cards. We are going to maintain the supplies, and we are going to just go around buying because the truth is what I like to buy and what Goose likes to buy are two different things. And when you are building an inventory to sell like Goose and I was, you spend a lot of time searching for stuff that you think would sell, which is not stuff that you really think you really want. So I decided after I was gonna pick out some of my favorite cards and that I got yesterday, and they are by far not the most valuable, but they're my favorite. These are the ones that I would have bought regardless if we were trying to sell or not. And since it is May 4th, the first card that I'm showing is a Boba Fett made by John Pleak. John Pleak is a local artist who does art for Topps, so you could actually pull this card out of a pack. I bought this at the Beach Grove show. I'm usually not a Boba Fett fan, but this card looks so good, I was like, I've got to buy it. So if you ever get a chance to buy some of John's work, you should, because it is really top notch. So thank you, John. And then next we have a baseball that I got from, it was game used baseball. Bart Pinkston and I went to this game on 8/2/13, and we went because it was the Cubs versus the Dodgers. But Don Mattingly was the manager of the Dodgers, and I'm from Southern Indiana, and Bart's from just across the river from Evansville. So we were there mostly to see Don Mattingly, and our best hopes for that day was Don Mattingly gets ejected, and he did, and it was just a great memory. So I bought a ball from it. I took it to the Night of Memories in Evansville, and he signed it, and it's Beckett authenticated. So one of the cards I wanted to pick up yesterday was this Don Mattingly SGC9, so that I could, because I had this ball displayed, so I could put this up and display them together. So I was like, that was a lot of my thinking yesterday was on what am I going to do with this? Because there's so many crazy cards and so many. It's just there's too many cards. I mean, you can have a million great cards, and the guy next to you has a million great cards, and you have very few the same. So first up, one of my top priorities was trying to get the Hank Aaron auto. We only had one Hank Aaron auto, so that made that a little bit more of a priority for me. I probably drafted this way too high as far as value, but this was my top priority on the baseball. So I was happy to get that. Second was this Bo Jackson, numbered out of 5. Let's see, you might not be able to see that because it's so tight. But I pulled this out of a pack on Black Friday out of a box. So I was like, I might want to get that back because I had a fun feeling about that. So up next was Reggie Miller. Before we started getting serious about this, the only things I really liked was the Indianapolis Colts, Reggie Miller, and some other things that we had local ties to. So that's what I brought in. So when we were bringing stuff out, and I also liked 80s baseball. So that's what I'd go around looking for. I wanted guys who played in the 80s, Reggie Miller, and I wanted Colts. That's the reason why Kent was the buyer, because if I had $2,000 to go spend, I would buy it all on Peyton Manning autographs. And we would just have no variety at all. But this was one of the Peyton Manning autographs I got, and I was pretty stoked about it because I just like the card. I like the way the signature looks. It's probably not the most valuable card by any means. I just thought it was a really nice looking autograph, so I picked that up. And then I also got the Philadelphia autograph Manning. And once again, it is not the most valuable ones. I just like the way these Philadelphia Signature Series cards looks. I also picked out the Dallas Clark from there just because, once again, I just like the way it looked. And I picked up this couple basketball cards. Just be Kobe Bryant was, he was in the '90s, so I followed him a little bit. And Ja, I don't watch too much basketball these days, but I always like the highlights of Ja. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and pick these two up. I'm gonna throw them in a little investment box, and maybe in 4 or 5 years they'll have some decent value. Then I picked up a Zion and a Vladimir Guerrero. I like the Vladimir Guerrero because it's a 10. I know the Zion's a 10 too, but we've had other Zion 10, so this doesn't mean as much to me as this one being a 10. But I like the way Zion plays. I think he's fun to watch, and I hope Vladimir Guerrero just tears it up. So I was glad to get those two. And finally, we're getting to why I was most excited about this. I was all about picking up as many Peyton Manning rookies as I could. This 9.5 rookies and stars, I probably spent $500 on boxes in 1998, and I was I could not pull it. And then I went to a show, and a guy had it for $20. I told my wife that it might be a little too expensive, and she straight gave me the death look. It's one of the very few cards that my wife has insisted that I buy because she knew I was just going to keep buying boxes until I got it. So this card means a lot. And this second card, the Upper Deck, back in the day, one Christmas, I guess it'd be the Christmas of '98, my dad bought me the Upper Deck Peyton Manning rookie from Steve's Ball Cards in Vincennes. So if you're from Vincennes and you're watching this, you probably remember Steve's Ball Cards. So to me, I've always liked the way it looks, but every time I do see that card, I think of my dad. So that's why I think we have 3 or 4 9s. I have 3 or 4 9s, but still, anytime I have a chance to pick them up, I always do because of that. And then I always liked the Black Diamond, so I was excited to get that. And I don't know why this Topps Finest is going so crazy. It was pretty standard $10 card back in the day, but now it's going up. Still, like I said, I was going to try to get as many of them as I can. Oh, we're going to take a little 2-minute break here, or actually not 2-minute break, probably 20 seconds, and talk about today's video sponsor. It is Walden's Wonder Spice. If you go to the shows at Beech Grove, you will see Bobby Walden, and he makes his own barbecue spice. It's a dry rub. It is excellent. Me and my wife, we put it on chicken and stuff that we grill out. We usually alternate between that and Elmo's. So to let you know how, St. Elmo's, they charge you outrageous. I think Bobby charges you $2, and it's really good stuff. So if you go to the Beech Grove show, you should take a couple extra dollars just to buy it, and you'll be glad you did. So now we get to the gold label Manning, which this was not really on my top priority because it seems like every gold label is a 9, but I like the way it looks. And I actually picked up the Edgerrin gold label too because just the way it looked. And then the Momentum, which this might have been a retail only. I don't remember back in the day, but that was fun. Back in the day, I liked buying all the Mannings that I could get. And then finally, it has no value. It has no sleeve. But this means a lot to me because Goose is the biggest Gary Carter fan in the world. If Gary Carter has kids, they're not as big a fan as Goose is. One of the first collections we ever bought had a few regular cards and hundreds of Gary Carters. And I'm like, why'd you buy this? And he's because I love Gary Carter. Gary Carter was the original Adam Dunn. As everybody knows that follows our page, Goose loves him some Adam Dunn. And Gary Carter was the first Adam Dunn. So I was very pumped up to get just a standard Diamond Kings Gary Carter. And also, I just want to let you guys know we're not done, as in like done in the hobby. We are just taking a break because it kind of got obsessed. We got obsessed with the amount of time we were spending looking for cards. We were kind of this thing was just kind of spinning out of control, and we wanted to just take a break and rewind a little bit. That's what yesterday was about, because we'd always talked about, hey, if we would, the dividing up of the collection was probably going to be the most fun for me and him. So that was yesterday. There will still be at least one more round, and most likely two, because of all the cards being graded, and we don't know approximately what time that those cards will be coming in. Because I know one of them was sent in, I think, January, and the other was sent in February to PSA. And then the SGC order, which we'll probably get back first, was sent 2 weeks ago. So hopefully they all show up within like a 2 week, and we can just do one video. And also the video after 2 hours, we hit walls. So I apologize for the fact that after 2 hours, I just want to hit the stop button and go take a nap. And as always, we appreciate all the support we have gotten from the collectors here. And thank you for watching. And thank you for watching yesterday.